What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. Listen, I've been sick these last couple of days, so I will be here with my avatar. I'm not coming on live because, I look a hot mess. I've been blowing my nose for the last 24 hours, and so nobody wants to see all that. So we're going to come over here. We're going to talk about this episode. What episode is it? Episode 3, season 11, episode 3. Tommy had a skate party over here. Y'all like the video, subscribe to my channel. Make sure you subscribe because YouTube keeps unsubscribing for me. I'm not sure what's going on and why that's a thing. But if you think you're subscribed, please double check because YouTube wants to take me back to where I came from. I don't want to go back. And so, yeah, we trying to grow over here. We not trying to be about that shrinkage. We about to be about that growth. So, yeah, y'all, it was a skate party. I did enjoy this episode. It was a cute little something something. Um, a lot of people weren't shown this week, so I'm not going to get into everyone. I'm just going to get into the people that, had a moment this week. Where are we going to start? Where should I start? I'm going to start here. Shannon came through this week with, she picking them up and, carrying them out of this thing. Ooh, I'm sorry. It's nice to see, once we get past the mixers, it's really nice to see, the people kind of interact with each other so we can see who are the connections and who, may or may not be connecting over here. Shannon and Chris. I definitely enjoyed this connection for whatever reason. When the people came back, when Tommy brought back, the people that what they were calling Misfit Island over there at the Access Lounge. When they came back from Misfit Island, Shannon said she didn't care about seeing anybody but what's his name? Devon. Devon was her man. So yeah, go ahead on, Devon. You got somebody waiting on you over here. Shannon clearly is not getting caught up in just being with Devon because she's spreading her, self around, not in a bad way, but getting to know people. And she had a really good conversation with Chris. She said she was happy that he could see her and that people often think of her as someone who is pretentious. Maybe it's the degrees, like Wendy Osefo. I think people, when you got a lot of degrees and things, I think maybe the people be thinking, you might be a little too much for them. But I think Shannon is somebody, she's got a nice smile, she's very welcoming, and that's attractive. They were saying this lady was over here giving off Claire Huxtable, Felicia Rashad, Michelle Obama vibes. So, go ahead on there, Shannon. I did enjoy this conversation. I don't know, what kind of connection they were really having. What's up, Shayna? Shayna, you got something going on, don't you? Later on, like right after, right after I'm done here, I'm gonna slide through. I'm gonna slide through and get into this conversation. Hey, Elsie around the world, and I. Y'all check out my girl Shayna _MCD. She covers a lot of the shows that I cover. I know she covered Ready to Love. She was over there in her car today with her lovely wig on, blonde hair. It was giving yes. That's what it was giving. She looked really pretty. And Elsid, we know what Elsid does. Elsid manages the chat in case I forget, what I'm supposed to be saying. She's over here to make sure that y'all say, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and she blindly finds love across the globe. That's what she did. These are like my two favorite people over here in my YouTube community. So please show them some love. And yeah, so we're going to get back to Shannon over here. I like Shannon. What do y'all think about Shannon? I think Shannon is very cute. Like I said, she's very warm and inviting. A smile will take you a long way, Emily. I'm just saying. So, yeah, cute conversation over here. She said that Chris is moving up on her radar, and Chris did his thing too. I feel like the people that went over to Misfit Island came back and turned things around. them shed the them stockings might be a problem, but she's a nerd and it's giving nerd. It's not giving the most mature vibe, her stockings, but I feel like I'm okay with people that have a look as long as they stand in it. She doesn't seem uncomfortable. She's very comfortable in her skin and in her, her stocking vibe. And so it wouldn't probably be something I would do necessarily, but I'm not mad at it. And I don't think they were mad at it either. Um, yeah, I like Shannon. She seems very much nice and, like I said, inviting. Who else, child? Who else was over here skating down to the skating rink? Um, I'm gonna go with this one right here. Shannon about that skating life. Yeah, the last time I went skating, I was like, and I had my own skates as a child, but as an adult, I took my daughter to we had a birthday at the skating rink, and I rented skates, and I was like, ain't no way, this girl right here want to put on no rented skates. I just couldn't even get it out of my head. So yeah, what's happening over here, Donna? So Donna took it upon herself to take Darius and have a conversation with him about how he did not impress her. She said she did not make the most good impression on her the first time meeting. And this irritated me a little bit, Donna. I love you, girl, but this did not make sense to me. It's okay if you're not a match, if he's not he's not your jive. You say he was jive. He's not your jive. I think you were out of pocket to go carry this man aside just to tell him that you don't like him and you think he's fake. And he pretty much said, "You didn't even know me." What'd you say, Elsie? Donna was out out blinged by Darius. You think that's what it is? She was out blinged by him. Everybody gonna be out blinged by him, so she might as well, chalk that up as to he got it. Um, I feel like this was unnecessary. She took him aside to tell him that she doesn't care for him. And not only that, but a whole lot of ladies don't care for him. And he's like, I didn't even really talk to you. These mixers didn't give you, Donna, enough time to assess who this man is for you to be saying that he wasn't being authentic. I think he was being authentically Darius. That much is for sure. So if he's not like, your guy, that's fine. But I don't know why, like I said, she felt like she needed to take him to the side to tell him that he's not authentic. He said that she was judging him, and she was. So it was, did your math bring you to this conclusion? Because you don't know the man. And it don't matter what you think about him because Ashley had his pickle tickled. So what'd you say, Shayna? Very unnecessary. She put herself on the chopping block. It's the men's elimination. And I feel like, if you're over here in this type of situation, it's your city. Like it goes beyond this show. I think it's okay to make um acquaintances with someone. I feel like Darius definitely is a particular type, not my type necessarily, but I am very much entertained and engaged by his personality. Ashley was feeding him toes. I don't know that she was feeding him toes, but he was definitely into it. So let's get into that. Ashley and Darius. Um, Ashley had a different interaction with Darius. Ashley is a young girl with no children. Darius is, I don't want to call him old, but he's in his 40s and he got 4 kids. Ashley, walk away. First of all, I get really irritated when guys start talking about sucking toes and things when we first met. Just stop it. What'd you say, Elsie? Men have the power. She done messed up with one of them. Yeah, and not just that, like, she better go try to fix it. Because if you want to be around for a while, you do not want the men to get in the lounge and be talking bad about you, whether you're a match or not. Is Ashley into this man? I don't know, because Ashley said it take money to date her, and I feel like Darius might be working with a little bit of coin. He got a lot of bling. I don't know if his money is authentic or not, but I don't like to be around here telling people, they coin ain't coining, because I don't know. Um, he owns businesses, and yeah, I just feel like she. Can I just say, what a cute outfit! I love. Ashley is so pretty. She is such a pretty young lady. Um, but doesn't need to be over here. Darius is wearing his money. Unfortunately, a lot of times that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're used to hanging around athletes, and you know what I'm saying, which is probably the case just because he's a club owner. Um, so the athletes tend to, they come through your club. They show their NFL badge or their NBA badge, and they get free, come on in, and because it makes the club look good. So I don't know. He's wearing it all, and I think he's wearing it all to attract these ladies. Ashley, she's into it a little bit, but I don't think she's into it for real. Ashley needs to move along with that tribe he got. Yes, when the girls don't have any children, I don't I don't really think it's a good idea to be getting yourself involved with a man. He said his kids are grown, but still, like, I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not here for it. I just put it that way. But she didn't tell the man he was jive, and then she thought he, was inauthentic. She went along with the flow. She was very flirty. Like I said, I don't think she was feeling him like that, but she was smart enough not to offend the man while they were in the middle of a conversation. Who else? We had Donna over here again. She had a little datey date with Ed. Um, this ain't a thing. And I don't think it has anything to do with. I was just giving very much friend vibes. I don't think Ed is into any of these women necessarily. They had a good conversation. These are two good looking people. But at the end of the day, I think it's very much friendly. They had a conversation about religion. She's spiritual. We love to throw that spiritual word around. She's spiritual, and he's a Christian, dead in it. Um, Ed's, uh, Ed's frat brand had me upset. I didn't get the branding since. What is he, a Q? I didn't even see his branding. It's, Q's be branding. Uh, she's an AKA, so they have that in common. I can see where they can have good conversation. Ed is attractive. She's attractive. So I can definitely see how they can sit here and admire each other from across the table. But it was definitely giving me friendly. It wasn't giving me any type of connection. Um, Yeah, what y'all think about the Donna Ed connection? You know what I liked? I like the car cam. That's a nice little addition. So, you get to see what these people's frame of mind is when they walk over here. They're not spiritually aligned, and that's not going to work. But I appreciate them having that conversation, because that's a big deal. And people be putting aside things that are very important, and then for whatever reason, because you're attracted to someone. So they put aside things that are very important. And then, when you get into the relationship, it's a problem. He said he wants his family to be all under the same accord. I can dig it. I will have to take him off my list, though. Dang, Ed, you was at the top of my list. Now I have to slide you over. But I mean, you're not my command. I look at these people on this show, and half of them are the same age as my son or younger. And I'll be like, dang, I don't look like I could be their mama, but I guess I do, you know? Ed said one God. That's what he said. She didn't say that one God. She didn't say anything about another God. She just, you know, They are. When I look at them, I'll be like, damn, this one's younger than my son. Ugh, I don't think Ed is, but pretty darn close, I'm going to tell you. He pretty darn close. Anyway, he's got a nice smile, and Ed actually has a very charming personality. So Ed is not a deacon. Ed is definitely not a deacon. And you know what? I wonder, like these people that come over here and stand so strong in conviction about their religion, are you really like at church every Sunday and stuff? Because Ed be talking about booties and things. If you haven't checked out the Access Lounge with Ed and Lauren, he be talking about the ladies' physiques and things. That doesn't mean he's not a religious man. I'm just saying. I think Ed be out here playing. Yes, Ed is a player. How many kids? How many households? Whose Jesus do they serve over there in those other households? We don't know. But what we do know is Ed thinks this lady is attractive, but probably can't move further with her. And Ed, she be mathematically designing things in her head that you might be on the chopping block and don't even know. Seems like she was feeling Ed a little bit though, but I get it because I would be if I was sitting across from him. But after the initial attraction, then what do you have? Look, where is Nicole? Did I forget Nicole? Dang it! Somebody always slips through the cracks. Nicole. Um, Let me just take them down. Nicole was over here having a good time skating with Vince. She had a good interaction with Chris. I I'm glad that Nicole has decided to get to know other people and not be so stuck on her crush on Ed. I don't think that he's the one for her either. Um, because I think Ed is maybe still outside. Some about Ed is giving outside. A lot of y'all have said if he didn't like her before, why would he be interested in her now? He said it was the dress. The dress is what attracted him. He didn't say her conversation. He didn't say I see her in a different light. He said she had on that red dress and I want to explore that. So she also had a really good conversation with Chris. And I like the conversation with Nicole and Chris. This kind of seemed like a match to me. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Chris and Nicole. Chris might be outside it too a little bit. Them chefs be around in people's kitchen, being private. You know, Ed's wasting time. Somebody else could have the dress on. It was a lot of things over there at that mixer. I think he was definitely not paying attention to Nicole. Her dress wasn't even that revealing. It was a nice dress. She looked beautiful, but she wasn't like some of the other ladies who were spilling out of their clothes. Um, so Chris sets up this date for him and Emily and Vince and Nicole. He wants to get to know Nicole a little bit better. Um, I think Vince probably wish he was over there having a date with Nicole as well, but he was stuck with Emily, who was sitting in the car talking about how. What did she say? She said um he had a negative attitude, and she was hoping she wouldn't have to cuss him out before while she walking here. Ed is, not Ed, Vince. Vince is a little bit goofy, but he does not have a negative attitude. I think he's a jokester, and maybe everybody is not into his jokes, but he definitely doesn't give negative attitude. But she does. So she walked in there with her ill-fitting clothes, and he was trying to be pleasant as best he could. But she already had her mind made up that she wasn't going to like him. And much like I said with Darius and Donna, he don't have to be your match, but that's no reason to be rude. He was just trying to have regular conversations. Chris Chris and Nicole have a conversation. I love his tattoo. He's a chef, so he has like a vine, a vegetable vine, a garden. Um, and like he said, he adds things along the way. He's a chef, so his tattoo definitely fits his lifestyle. I thought that was kind of cool. Um, they discussed Chris has been married twice. We don't know what happened with the second wife, but the first wife, he said she was kind of a high school sweetheart, and they got married, based on trauma. His mother passed away and they had a trauma bond, and it led them to marriage, but then they found out that they probably weren't, a forever match. When you're young, I guess, you don't have those things figured out. I love the tattoo explanation. Um, yes, because the other boy was over there. Who was that? Darius, the fashion designer, who don't I bet you if you go over to his website right now, you will be able to buy nothing. All these years later, he'd just be making fashion shows. He said that, like I said, they bonded over trauma. She said she's been through that before. She said, she talked about her therapist and how she has bonded with somebody based on the same thing. So Nicole and Chris are forging a connection, if you want to call it that. At this point, we're early on in the game. I hate to use that word connection. Um, he says she's moved to the top of his list. And so far for me, I know he likes Shannon, but Shannon seems very much attached to Devon, which I think they're probably a better match, to be honest. And we'll see like what happens with Chris and Nicole. They think that she's wifey material. I feel like a lot of these women over here are, to be honest. What do y'all think of the Chris Nicole connection? You like it? You don't like it? I like it. Here they are. Ciao. I'm late. I knew I had everybody. Chris, I would like for him to button his shirt up a little bit. Um, yeah, they're attractive together. You like it, Elson? I like it too. I like the conversation. Sometimes the conversations are like people breaking down layers and really being honest and getting to know each other better. It's some of the conversations feel like interviews. That just means you're not connected necessarily. This conversation over here with Nicole seemed more of a real connection than with her and Ed. I think, I hope she don't let, like I said, that crush with Ed get in the way. But I seen them like kissing in the preview, so she gonna have her mouth on him. I don't know how that's gonna work with her and Chris. Then of course this lady over here with the bad attitude. So these two have a sit down, and Vince is asking his best getting to know you questions. This lady said, look at her. Let me stop. He's like, so what do you do? And she says she's a teacher. She teaches 9 through 12. She teaches digital art and fashion design. They teach fashion design in high school because I had to go to college for that. I had to pay money to do that. I didn't get to have that in high school. I wish I did, but I did not. Now, wonder what she dresses like when she goes to school. Because right now, again, all I see, it looks like titties falling out of a teapot. The boots, the shorts, it's all bad. It's all bad. I'm just saying, it's bad, child. Anyway, he asked her, what did he ask her? What does she prefer? Which do you prefer? The young ones coming in or the older ones coming out? And she said, I love them all. I like them all. She was giving him like real basic answers. He couldn't get any further into the conversation. This was looking down into the valley. Where else he gonna look? The valley's right there. If you were sitting there, you'd be looking at the valley too. I know I would. How can you not? They up to her chin and damn near his too. And so yeah, she was like, oh, now you're asking me Maury Povich questions. And I'm like, he's trying to break through this wall that you have up. I feel like teachers, most of the time, you ask them about their kids and they start talking. I felt like that was a very easy question. She didn't have to say which one she liked better. She could just say what the difference is. The new ones coming in are da 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 da. Where the older ones are in this place, you know. She just didn't want to answer any questions. She says she has an adult son. He's in college. I think she said 19, 20. And then he has a 15-year-old son and a 17-year-old daughter. So you're talking about a man who has children, but his children are on their way, you know, not little kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he has custody, but clearly in the way he talks about his children, he's definitely involved. Seems like him and his daughter are close. She's going to go away. He asked her, like, do you have any advice? She's like, she's going to go away. She's going to have friends. She's going to meet boys. She's going to meet girls, and she's not going to talk to you. Probably call her once a week. Eventually, maybe, when I went off to school, I was calling home every day, not once a week. And she has a son, and sons are different, and all kids are different. But it was almost like, to me, it felt like she was judging his parenting. He said his daughter was watching. He's just now really trying to come up with things to, you know, have a conversation with this lady, because she already made up her mind. Like I said, when she got out the car, she wasn't going to engage with him. And he was not being snappy. He was not being negative. He was trying to, like I said, engage with her. She wasn't having it. He said his daughter was watching a documentary, the Menendez brothers, and she's like, do you just let your kids watch whatever they want, or do you monitor what they're watching? She's 17. Do you monitor 17-year-olds what they watching? Because they gonna see what they want to see. This lady, Emily, she was a hard berry to crack. Um, he said it was awkward. It was awkward. It was very uncomfortable to watch these two because she was so disagreeable. It's not a match, obviously. I just don't understand the attitude of it all. No, Ashley, that when they went skating. No, after skating, a couple of them went over to go-kart riding. They always have a go-kart riding day. I will say it was cool. Like, they had some of the one-on-ones, and then the other people who are not settled necessarily yet had the group day. It was cool. It was a good episode where we get to meet these people, get to know them a little bit better. El Cid, I know this is your boy, but I cannot. I cannot with him in this hair. It's orange. I feel like he old school did it, like put peroxide in his hair and went to sleep, and woke up and it was orange. He's got nice hair, but please. And this is for him and all the men that come to Ready to Love. Look at this lady. She's nice and polished. Love her glasses. And he is over here looking like a werewolf from London. However, not just her, Ashante, Ashley, what's her name? Dominique. A lot of the women have nice things to say about Cardi. And I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy. She said, Ashley did, she enjoyed their conversation. They talked about their love language. Um, yeah, have you ever seen the werewolf in London, child? That's what he looked like. Um, she said that Cardi over here says nice things and stimulates her mind. And so she's interested to get to know him. So she's probably like, you know, she's a beauty industry girl. She's probably like, we're going to take him over to the barbershop, get him shaved up. He can keep the hair, but we're going to make it not be orange. She probably figuring out a way to, you know, he's not a bad looking guy. We could polish up his wardrobe a little bit. He's not a fashion guy. So he spent all night on that blonde, on that blowout. See, I can't be waiting on the bathroom while this boy is in here blowing his hair out. But, you know, she liked the conversation, and that's different than over here talking about sucking on somebody's toes. I don't know why men think that's a thing that is, you know, for some people it's okay, but I just met you, Darius. I don't need to be talking about sucking on toes and things. So surprisingly, because Ashley gives off bougie, And I say that because she was talking about money. Now he's an insurance broker, so that doesn't, I don't know what kind of money. Insurance can be good money. I know people in the insurance industry that make a lot of money, but he also looks like he's a thrill seeker. I feel like he said that. So not only is he chose this date where they could go do some fun stuff. So I feel like you'll be over here doing rollerblading and surfing and out here on the boat. He looks like he does, he seems like the type of guy that's not so caught up like Darius. I keep bringing him up because that's her other option. Both of them have a hair issue. One is spraying the hair on and the other one is doing too daggone much. um he's very different than Darius, but not flashy, not into the designer things of it all. But if you see somebody that's got potential, his posture is off. It's because he's tall. My son is 6'5". Was Elsie? I believe you said your sons are tall too. My son is 6'5", and his posture is fine when he's standing up, but when he's like in the kitchen making a sandwich and he's all hunched over, and I'm like, good grief. I feel like tall people a lot of times do shrink themselves. His posture is definitely bad, but I think it's a tall person thing. Um, I don't want to penalize this man for his hair. If she's over here saying that he is stimulating her mind, then your youngest is 6'1". Yeah, but you're tall. I'm not a tall person, so and I spent my childhood with ballet classes, so it's a posture thing. It does speak to your confidence though. I feel like when you walk around slumped like that, it may not necessarily be true, but it looks like lazy, sluggish. It's no positive um association with that. But I mean that's a small thing. Sometimes you gotta polish them up a little bit. He could use some polishing. I think the hardest thing to get to is have somebody with good conversation that stimulates your brain. The rest of it is just aesthetics. And like I said, I'm not gonna penalize this man because he got an orange blowout. Ashley can fix that. If he likes her, he'll easily smooth that over a little bit, maybe, probably, because he likes her. They seem like they like each other. Who's next? Um, Shannon again. She's over here. She got a date with her man. This felt so easy, so like they've known each other for a long time. They have a lot in common. Not Detroit Fabio. Huh. It's like a dun dun dun, a dun dun dun. Hey, hey. All these pimps and things. Yeah, this conversation felt like they've been seeing each other for a while. They like the same things. They like trivia. It was really cute when he told her, Shannon, you drink out of that man's cup. Now that's different because I can't drink out your cup if I've never kissed you before. If I've been kissing on you, then I'm not gonna be acting all weird about drinking out your cup. But I haven't kissed you or nothing. I can't be drinking out your same cup now. Um, Not she can get a discount on her education, but she's full of degrees and things. And I think that's probably why their conversation is so easy. They're nerds. They're definitely a better fit than him and Dominique. I don't see him and Dominique doing anything any further than what they was doing over there besides trying not to be on the bottom. Um, I do think though Darius probably is an interesting person to talk to. Now, I did see his interview over there on the Access Lounge, and he was dressed more casually and seemed a little more um, comfortable. And he's definitely self-aware. He knows, like, he knows who he is. He's comfortable with who he is, and that's attractive. So I can see this. She said she wanted to get Darius back over here, and he is back. And this was a nice date. Shannon has spread herself around, not too much, but I think her options are Chris, Darius, and Ed. I saw her and Ed touching hands. Okay, Shannon. Now I can see Ed liking a very smart girl too. I'm just saying. He's probably used to hoochie coochie mamas throwing it in his face, and he's probably looking for something else. Who else? Moving right along. We're getting through here quite quickly. How long have we been over here? 35 minutes? Maybe it's because I'm sick and I'm trying to hurry up. Um, I mean, I'm not trying to hurry up, but in the beginning, we can't really say too much about these people because we haven't got a chance to get to know them. There was a couple little clips. Steven and Lauren had a little moment over at the skating rink, and who else? Ashante and Xavier. She was being a little more personable, Ashante was, but Xavier, oh, girl. Anyway, Dominique and Bello, are they dating each other? They keep showing up places like dressed alike. Dominique in them damn stockings, she gonna show up in the stockings. She was somewhere talking about she wears it for the cellulite on her thighs. Put some pants on then, girl. And put some matte stockings on. It's just so distracting. And girl, you wear what you want to wear, but I don't like it. Then she came over here again with another poochie. Don't put no more poochies on, girl. Her and Darius are dressed. Now they fly and match each other. Dominique's zippos were taped over for the show. Did you notice? I did. I couldn't tell if that was for you talking about in her other poochie. I couldn't tell if that was, part of the outfit, but yes, I did notice it was a little bit sheer over there. Not Darius, Dominique and Bello seem like they would enjoy shopping together. They seem like people that like labels and flamboyant clothing. He is very intentional with her. He makes her, a priority in terms of who he's giving his attention to. And she likes that. She said that. She says she likes a person to, she like a person to show, she like a man to show her, what he feeling. And he is. Now, so they had a one-on-one date. And they're sitting in this bar drinking whiskey, talking about Jesus. I'm just saying. So apparently Dominique is a PK and Bello is Muslim. Here again, you have two people with two different religious backgrounds. Her father is a preacher. How is he going to feel about her having a Muslim man? Does she follow? Because seems like she let it go real quick. Oh, it's fine. I love Jesus, except for it's cool. Tell me about your Muslim hood. Do I have to change my clothes? Do I have to then cover myself up? He said, no, I like you the way you are. These are conversations I feel like people be having when they're attracted to one another. Clearly, they're attracted to one another. However, it can be a problem later on. You just don't slide past it. That's a big difference. Also, while I'm thinking about it, Darius catches a lot of heat for having his sprayed on hairline, and Bello is over here quite sprayed on. The beard, the hairline, it's a lot of spray happening over here. Bello, just be bald. Does he remind you of James Harding? Because he does me. I think of James Harding when I see him. They also had a conversation about children. Dominique is 42, 43. I don't know if she has any. She does. I think she's got adult children. And he has to have a son. He absolutely has to have a son. I don't understand men that pursue a woman who's over 40 and want to start talking about babies. Now, she said she's had 2 miscarriages, and so she's concerned that she might not be able to carry another baby. And would he be open to surrogacy? And he said, yeah, he just has to have a son. But I mean, you can make that happen. They be over to the baby store spinning genetics over in the jar, so you can pick what you want. And I mean, 42 is not that old. I mean, you can still have babies. It's what they call geriatric, but I don't think it's a lot of women having babies at that age, but she's already having some challenges. So I don't think the babies are as much of a challenge as the religion is, unless she's not really as dedicated to her religion as I don't know. Her daddy is a preacher. So we'll see with these two. Right now, it seems like he like her and she like him. I did appreciate the conversation. I was ticked off that Bello got to have a son. See what I'm talking about? And she just is so agreeable to it. I guess, child, she don't care. So it's very much patriarchy. It's very much misogyny. She has three adult daughters, and he has a 1 year old. It must be a girl. A 1 year old fellow. You out here trying to make more babies already with this woman that's over 40? Huh. I did not hear him say he had a 1 year old. That changes everything for me. I'm irritated. As much as I was enjoying this conversation at first, now I'm the streets are saying she's older than 42. I heard that too. I mean, okay, I'm gonna say this. All this makeup, and it's her and what's the other one? Emily. They wear a lot of makeup, eyelashes, all of that stuff, and now you're on television and it ages you so much. Um, what's her name? Donna. I don't think she's well, she said she's 42. Donna's 42. She came over there with next to no makeup, and she's, looks amazing. And it's probably because she doesn't have all that cake pounded on her face. When you get older, it start looking different on you. I don't want to be age shaming nobody, but you know, if I say my age, y'all fall on the floor. Um, I'm just saying. It ain't 42. That's for sure. Donna looks 35. Yeah, she said she want to have done having babies in 5 years. That's what she told Ed because she said she's 42, but she's a beautiful lady. Like the clear, clean face. That all of that makeup would be too much. This lady over here with poochie and shiny stockings and eyelashes and this is also seems like Dominique seems like a very sweet lady. Like she's her personality is very nice. She's open to being friendly to all these people, hips and thighs and titties and things. They like that. All right, El Cid. I see you when I see you. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that, Shayna. Now that you say he has a 1 year old, it makes me look at them a little bit different. Um, but we'll see. She did a she did an interview with Jada, and it was her and Ashley that did an interview with Jada. And I don't. First of all, I hope y'all don't come out doing interviews so fast. Just pause. Just pause on the interviews. We just got started, so let's don't start coming over here talking because when you do the interviews, the energy when they asking questions about, and I'm gonna put the link in the description, just in case you want to go check out the interview. But um, the energy when you bring up one of the guys, you know what I'm saying, names, then they be making funny faces and stuff. Is giving it away, like that we already know what's tea. She said bye, bye Felicia. Um, so yeah, that was about it. They ended up in the men's lounge. Tommy had to go over there, and the men's lounge like we not doing nothing special. We not doing vaults and things. We just going back to the regular old gentleman's lounge. Yeah, it's just kind of like I prefer they wait until after the reunion because even or if they get eliminated. So, but we're just at episode 3. So give us a little time, like at least get us to like the last few episodes, then y'all can start coming out to talk. But if you're on there and they're asking you a question and you making faces like, ugh, then we're like, well, I guess that didn't work out. So there's that. Um, yeah, so we got the men's lounge. Everybody looks nice. Everybody looks nice. Even Devon had on a nice suit jacket. They wanted to be like, ooh, Devon, he stepped it up. I ain't gonna keep messing with Devon. Um, I think he looked nice. I think everybody looked nice. Even your boy with the ponytail. Tops and bottoms. Nicole, the guys over here, they really like you, Nicole. Shannon, they said you was giving Michelle Obama vibes and things. That's always good. Darius, are we gonna wear fur every time we show up? Now that Darius be doing the most. He came in there and said he did not like Donna because she decided to tell him that he was not authentic, and I wouldn't appreciate that either. Another issue with Donna was Ed says she was spiritual and not Christian, so now all of them are like, "Ooh, we need her to be Christian." I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I think with Donna, I think her mistake was, first of all, telling Darius how she didn't like him. And second, I don't think she's had a chance to get to know many people. Steven said his top was Lauren. Um, and then I guess, we don't get to hear the other names in the conversation over here in the men's lounge. We did find out though that Emily and Donna were going to be at the bottom. The men said Emily be over here leading with her sexuality, and does. And so, and like I said, I can't believe that she's never heard that before. So the guys got to go tell these two ladies, Donna and Emily, that either they still ready to love or they not ready to love. So I'll start with Steven and Donna. Steven and Donna meet up. Was she late? Because when she walked in, he looked at his watch like he'd been sitting there waiting for a long time. Now Steven has a regular hairline. It doesn't look sprayed on, and he's a good looking young man. Um, yeah, look at Donna and look at Emily. It's all that makeup. So Emily obviously should be less judgmental. That was an issue. There was no reason for her to come over here judging this man that she doesn't know. Like I said, if he's not your cup of tea, then let him be. And I also feel like it's cool to like just network and meet people, because you might want to be able to roll up in Darius's club and have a good time VIP style. Unless that's not your thing. Anyway, I think it is. I think it's most people's thing. Oh, you know what? What's her name? Miss VIP. Miss VIP is not giving VIP because we didn't really see too much of her this time. She came from the Misfit Island, and we saw her skate one time. Uh so yeah, Donna needs to be less just judgmental. And I don't think her religion is a problem. I feel like it's a lot of people over here that claim to be spiritual and don't assign to any particular religion. So, I don't think that should be a problem for her. If it's a problem for Ed, okay, so maybe he's not her guy. He said a lot of us are religious. Are they? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Chris is probably open. And I mean, again, she didn't say she was atheist or she doesn't believe in God. She just doesn't assign to any religion. She said that she's open. What she said, and it was very eloquent the way she put it. She said she believes that people's beliefs are kind of, and I'm, paraphrasing, are what makes them good. And so she wouldn't want to take away from that necessarily. She's not looking for anybody to change anything about themselves. She's just saying, I don't follow any religion, and I would like for my kids to be open to know that there are other options out there. Some people that are deeply rooted in their Christianity ain't gonna fly. But I mean, is that any different than you saying, "Oh, you're Muslim? That's fine. My dad won't mind, even though he's a Christian preacher." So Chris took Emily out, and Emily sat there and asked this fan, "So tell me, I've been having conversations. So tell me, is there anything I can do? Like, is there anything I need to change?" And he told her, "You got a resting bitch face, but that ain't it. It's also like your conversation. You're not really open to conversation. And that's a problem. People trying to get to know you, and you're not, your conversation ain't really conversation for the most part." And her response was, maybe some of these guys talk too much and you can't get a word in edgewise, and you be trying to talk to them and they're not giving me any room to talk. And I was like, that is absolutely not. If you're talking about Vince, that's not what happened. He was like so polite, so nice to you. He did his best to pull any kind of conversation out of you. And you were sitting up there stuffed in that blue jean jacket that you couldn't, I don't know, breathe or didn't want to. And then he said, the guys also think you lead with your sexuality. And she does. Every time that we've seen her in these last couple of episodes, the conversation, this jacket that she has on is the first time we have seen her with her titties. And they're not put away necessarily, but they're put away. They're not on display. The bottom half of what she had on was a hot mess, but okay, fashion designer lady. Um, After she asked the man to tell her what she could change, and he told her what it was, is you lead with your sexuality. And she said, maybe some of these guys lead with lame. And I'm like, well, then what did you ask him for? What was it that you wanted to know? What was it that you wanted him to offer if you were not going to listen anyway? This lady ain't smiled like not once through this whole thing. Two on the bottom. Emily goes home. Now, even in this shirt right here, even though it's very stuffed, it's not as bad as what we've been looking at. Like I said, her boobs are huge, so it's not like she's going to be able to put them anywhere. But this is definitely not as bad as what we've been seeing, like her spilling out the top of that daggum jean, um, blue jean top, whatever that was she had on. Anyway, Donna stays, Emily goes. I think Emily was the right choice. Emily was not open to um engaging necessarily. When you want to talk, we learned nothing about her. We learned that she was a teacher. She teach 9 through 12, and then she works for the Pistons and making their costumes, their dancers' costumes. We didn't hear anything about her. Even her son, like, he's in college. She wasn't offering up anything, so you're making it very difficult to get to know her. So Emily's out. I'm not surprised. I can't wait to see her on the love sofa down to the access lounge. See if they can get her. Maybe Ed can get her to smile child. I don't know. Anyway, moving forward, next week, looks like Shannon and Ed have a little thing going on. And what's the girl? Ina. Ina is feeling some type of way because Bello is giving his attention to Dominique. And she says something to the effect that if a man want to be with her, he got to spend his money. If he like you, girl, he will. And if he don't, he probably won't. But that's next week. We will go ahead and talk about that when the time comes. Y'all like the video. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed because I don't even want to get into how frustrated I am with YouTube at this point. I will be back hopefully without a stuffy nose. And yeah, I'll see you when I see you.